Hello students, today we will discuss the another part of the lesson, what happened to weavers. Yesterday we have discussed the different ways of Indian textiles, how Indian merchants and traders began working with the silk and cotton goods to be transported from India to the another countries. And this was a very flourishing trade that Indian bankers, merchants, various traders were involved, and they earned many profit from especially three ports. They were Surat, Machlipatam and Hooghly. But this Indian textile trade began coming to an end from 1750 because British government or colonial government established power in India. You might have already studied in standard A that in Indian history, in the context with the British government or colonial government, two battles were very important. They were the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. So Battle of Buxar was fought in 1764. So by 1750, the Indian trade to the other countries, especially cotton and silk, was drying up due to emergence or arrival of colonial government in India because they wanted to expand the textile exports from India to other countries. And they came here for the purpose of trading activities, for the purpose of earn huge profit, and to use the natural resources from India for the welfare and benefit of their countries. So these were important steps. These were important events in the age of Indian textiles. Let us move to the other part of the lesson. What happened to weavers? Now, textile industries means what? Weavers are more important. Without weavers, the textile industry could not boom, or textile industries could not perform well. So weavers were integral part of these textile industries in India, and along with the weavers, the export of textile industries was expanded at large level by the colonial government. Therefore, here we are going to discuss what happened to weavers, how weavers faces various problems under the colonial government, how weavers were not ready to work with the colonial government after some years. These are some of the problems that we are going to explore in this lesson. So let us see what happened to weavers. First of all, you might be already studied that from 1760 to 1770, the British consolidation power did not initially lead to the decline of textile industries. It also focused on the textile industries to increase the expand the various textile industries from India to other countries. So most of the textile industries were carried in Indian villages, and these textile industries were the important part or important factor that company wanted to expand this business. So initially, these textile industries they could not capture very well. Therefore, they were finding the solutions. They were finding the roadmap to expand textile industries, textile export from India. But company faces a lot of competition from other traders, such as Britishers were not only the European to settle in India, but there were many European powers who came to India for the purpose of trading, such as French, Dutch, Portuguese. These European powers also wanted and they were interested to expand the textile industries in India. And therefore, when Britishers came in India late after these three European powers, they found it difficult to ensure regular supply of cotton every day because East India Company of British government found a lot of problems because there were many traders and merchants and bankers were involved in textile industries, and even the local traders were also there with these European powers. That is why in initial period company found a lot of difficulties and faces many problems to ensure regular supply of cotton, and therefore they wanted such a situation, such an administration that can eliminate the competition and establish firm control over Indian textile. Therefore, in companies officials in India, they wrote letters to the England, stating that there are a lot of problems which we are facing in India. How should we solve those problems? So in the letters back to the London, the company officials often complain regarding the regular supply of cotton textiles in India. So but they were finding various solutions and various ways to eliminate the competition and establish their own control over the entire market system and textile industries. Later, what happened then? Company gets monopoly right to trade after 1760. I already told you that 1764 the Buxar battle was fought, and in this Buxar battle the British government, the colonial government, won this battle and established entire control over the Indian territory, over the Indian textile industries, and that time they got monopoly right to trade. Monopoly means everything, all rights to trade. So when they got monopoly right to trade, they develop a system that eliminate competition. They develop a system of management that eliminate competition, establish complete control over the trade, okay, and decide the entire market system including prices. So in this way, when company gets monopoly right to trade in India, they gradually began spreading and expanding different textile industries in India, and this leads to the decline of the other European powers. Their trade began declining, and therefore these European powers and other local traders went in desolation and hopelessness feeling. So therefore, company tried in different ways to establish control in Indian textile industry. Now, how the European companies, especially East India Company of the British government, established complete control and ensure regular supply of cotton. Dear students, keep in mind, this is one of the important questions here, can be asked for the examination, that how did company ensure regular supply of cotton from India, even after they were having a lot of competitors. There were steps to ensure regular supply of cotton. British government or company did this management and complete control over the Indian textiles, especially in two ways. Number one, company tried to eliminate existing brokers and traders which involved in Indian textile trade. Means brokers means the people middlemen who tries to bargain the prices and sell to the different buyers. So these traders and brokers were existed in Indian trade. So first of all, company did one of the important thing is that company tried to eliminate existing brokers and traders which engage in Indian trade, and instead of these brokers and traders, they appointed a paid servant called Gomastha. Gomasthas were paid servant, and after appointing Gomasthas to ensure regular supply of cotton, the important functions and work of Gomasthas were that Gomasthas were important, and they were outsiders which appointed by the British government to have regular watch over the production process of textile industries, such as examine the quality of cotton, ensure regular supply of cotton, and collect supplies. These were the important functions that Gomasthas were performing. So these Gomasthas were important middlemen of the colonial government and weavers. They acted as the middlemen. They acted as a link between European company and then weavers. So Gomasthas were paid servant appointed by British government to watch over quality, to collect supply, and to examine the quality of cloth. Supervise the weavers means watch over quality, means supervise the weavers, collect supplies, and examine the quality of cloth. These were important three functions of Gomasthas. This is one way. Second way to ensure regular supply of cotton was they prevented company weavers from dealing with other buyers. Means weavers should not sell their produce to other buyers. So how can it would be possible? They did was through one step, it was advances. A system of advances was started. by the company. Once the advance is given to the weavers would not sell his produce to other buyers, even he get high price, because he already taken the loan from company. That is why he is tied to the company. Whatever produce he would produce, that he has to sell to the company. So in this way, by giving advances, company try to make the weavers bind to the company's production. So therefore, they did two ways to ensure regular supply of cotton. One, they eliminated existing traders and brokers, and instead of them, they appointed paid servant called gumasta. And second, they prevented company weavers from dealing with other buyers through the system of advances. In this way, European company, that is East India Company, ensured regular supply of cotton in very systematic way and eliminated all the competition from Indian textile trade. Another important thing is that when gomastas were appointed and gomastas were giving advances to many weavers eagerly took loans, hoping to earn more, because they had tiny plots of land. Along with this cultivation of tiny plots of land, they also started working with the gomasta and company. But later, the work of company and gomastas increased so much that they later decided to lease out their land. Lease out means they gave their land on rent basis to others to cultivate, because they could not cultivate the land along with the weaving, and that is why they, after leasing out their land to other farmers or peasants, they decided to They decided to devote all their times to weaving. And in this activity, all members of the family, including children, women, and old age people, were engaged in weaving activity, and therefore, in this particular period, there was high demand for the workers to engage in this activity, and in this way, company expanded textile export from India to other countries. So these were important events that leads to what happened to weavers. So finally, how weavers became miserable, how weavers became hopeless due to companies' cruel system or companies' divide and rule system. Let us see. Now, dear students, this is also one of the important question that can be asked in the board examination. Why there were clashes between gomastas and weavers? Finally, gomastas Indian weavers were working with the gomastas because there were no relations with the weavers direct to the company officials, but gomastas were middlemen. Finally, what happened? There were clashes began developing in between gomastas and weavers. So how? Because gomastas were outsiders. Outsiders means they were not from British country, or they were not from England. For example, I will tell you an example that suppose there is weaving activity in Gadchiroli. So the gomastas were not native from Gadchiroli. They were either from Nagpur, Chandrapur, Bhandara, or Gondia. These people which had no long-term social links and which have no familiar with with the people of Gadchiroli. Okay, and therefore such people were appointed as gomastas. So gomastas were outsider and they had no long-term social links with the villagers and weavers, and therefore they acted arrogantly, marched into villages with the sepoys and queues, and punished the weavers in delays in supplying the cotton productions delay, often beating and flogging them. Sometimes gomastas tried to beat, sometimes they acted very arrogantly and they were very cruel. Sometimes they punished the weavers in very serious ways if they found that there was delay in submitting the cotton supply or weaving activity. So therefore, what happened? Weavers lost the space to bargain for prices and tried to sell it to different buyers. Finally, they suffered a huge things from the gomasta, and they did not want to work with the gomastas or company, and that is why, because they acted arrogantly and marched into villages with the sepoys and queues and often beating and harassing and torturing and punishing. So many weavers, in order to save themselves, they flock their villages and to settle in other places. So in this way, finally, weavers lost the space to bargain for prices and sell it to different buyers. And that is what happened in many places, such as in Bengal and Karnataka. Weavers deserted villages. Means there were no weavers in the villages. The villages were looking as desert, because this cruelty was reached at very high level, and in order to save from this cruelty of the Gomastas, many weavers deserted into villages and they flocked in other places. Some weavers decided to give up the weaving activities, and they came back, or they returned to their villages, and again they took to agricultural activities. So these were the situations of weavers that took place, or that happened due to companies' consolidation of power in Indian subcontinent. This type of situation was happened because company appointed paid servant Gomastas, and that is why this situation was happened, and the prices that company was giving to the weavers was miserably low, and it could not satisfy the demands of full family members, and that is why most of the weavers decided to give up this weaving activity, and many weavers also closed down their workshop, and some returned to their agricultural activities. So, dear students, I hope you have understood this particular part of the what happened to weavers. Well, again you read this part from textbooks and find out more aspects and more things about the weavers. Thank you. Next part we will see in the next video.